This is Dave and Rich again from housebarons.com, and we're out at the lake house with a stairway that we want to put in. It's a whole staircase for second to third floor. We used to have a spiral staircase in there, and now we want to put in just a set of normal stairs that will allow us to get furniture up to the third floor. And what we're going to show you today is how to lay out a staircase and cut your own treads.
This is the entrance of the lake house, and this is the pretty cool stairwell that comes up to the second level. And this is the hallway here. This area is a spiral staircase that goes up to our attic level, and we just don't find this to be very functional because there's like no way to get a couch up here or any large furniture. We plan on taking the spiral stairwell out, and we're going to put in just a standard straight staircase.
What you need for this job is a tape measure and a square with a piece of wood and a couple clamps, and most importantly is an iPad or something that gets you to a website. We found a stair calculator online, and we knew what our run was and we knew what our rise was. Our run is from where the staircase begins to where it ends in a horizontal fashion, and then our total rise is from the measurement from the finished floor on the second floor to the finished floor on the third floor. And those two numbers are crucial. They ask you on this calculator what the number of stairs are that you're going to have, so you have to have an idea about that, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then also your tread thickness. They want to know how thick your treads are going to be. You put those numbers in, and it outspits a number, and the number it gave for us was what you see drawn on this riser board, that there are two lines on there, and there's good reason for that, because the first time we did it, it was inaccurate, and that's why they give you the whole riser length measurement, because when we came down here, we found out that each one of these was approximately a 1/16 of an inch off. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have 13 or 14 stairs and each one is a 1/16 of an inch off, it's almost a full inch when you get to the end of the line. And so that's the hard part about doing this. But because we got this calculator, and we'll show you that, the calculator gives you the whole riser length, and that way you can check and make sure that you have an accurate measurement. So we went back and added a 1/16 to each stair, and we're a whole lot closer than we were at the beginning. And once you get that figured out, it's just a matter of drawing them on there and then finally cutting them out. Here's a little jig that we built. It's super easy. It's a square with two clamps and an old ratty board. And I'll show you what it looks like on here. All right, so we want to give a big thank you to mycarpentry.com, is where we found the stair calculator. And we used the manual stair calculator, so we knew that our total rise was 106 and our total run was 131, and approximately we were going to have 14 stairs with a 1.5 inch tread. And when you do that, it gives you all of these measurements from the stair height. The number of stairs has us at 13, and the height of the first stair in the riser, the height of all the other stairs risers, and your last step on to the top of the landing, and the stringer length. So it's beautiful. It's all the information you need, and you don't have to do this by hand. Once we know that we have a stair height, that's your rise, of 7 9/16, and your stair run of 10 1/16, we're basically putting this on our board, and we'll show you this in a second. But here's from this point here to 10 1/16 is our run, and then our rise is 7 9/16. So from the corner to here is 9/16. And now whenever we draw this line, we're going to have the perfect stair. And you just have to repeat that every time all the way down your stringer, and you're good to go. When you're all done, you've got it all drawn on the board, then you go back and check your total stringer length, and if that all works out, you're good to go and start cutting. And so that's where we're at the moment. let's go see if it fits. Gotta be careful not to drop this, because if one breaks, the whole board's done. Here's where we're putting the treads, starting in that doorway there and going up to right here. Okay, you're in down, and then you gotta go to the wall with it. Is that tucked in there? That's pretty cool.
Well, that fit in there like you measured it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, actually. So we're gonna trace out the original. This one we put in worked, fit like a charm. I'm gonna screw these together just to keep them immobile while we trace them. You don't want anything wiggling. And screwed it in is just money. That's it. So now we're gonna cut on this, and I'm gonna cut that line away, and that should give us a carbon copy of the first. All right, we had an interesting little issue. Is when we cut these boards, they were all perfect. We took one as a template over the others, and after we cut it, you can see how it acted like a relief cut on this board here, and it crowned after we cut it. And so you got like a good solid 1/4 inch, maybe even 3/8 of an inch here in the middle where it bowed. Yeah, it's the crown of the board. And so it's going to be a little tricky when we put it in, but just something to be aware of. We're not really sure why that one did so badly, but it's a remarkable difference. And so we're just going to try to straighten it out when we install it. We did a little research, and it said there could have been either internal stresses in the wood or moisture content that varied. It wasn't dried properly. So who knows? One thing I read online, the guy was 30 years doing woodwork and still had issues with it. So I don't know how to stop it, but we got what we got. So we'll go put her in and see what happens. Ready?
Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah. Yours should go inside that drywall area there. Yeah. Yep.
All right, now we've got our 3 stringers in. And what adjustments have you been making?
Well, I brought the stringers out away from that wall so that they're 16 on center, because we opted for a wider hallway. And now we know this one bowed. This one, when we cut it, bowed down after we cut it. Probably for a moisture issue with the wood. So that is, holy camole, that's about as close to dead level as you can get.
Yay.
So our top stair is awesome. This one decided to bow down or crown to this direction in the middle. And so we've got that gap that we've got to make up. These stringers are all cut identical, so it wasn't the cut, it was the actual bowing after the cut. And so we're going to encourage that to go up with this car jack for lack of a better tool. And then once that's touching, we'll go ahead and screw it in, and it'll be tight. Ready?
Yep.
I think we're there.
Yeah, it
Looks good.
Looks good.
All right, so let's go ahead and drill that baby in. And we have level stairs at that point. We got them level and tied in, and we had already attached the stringers to the wall studs on both sides, and then the center one is attached to the top and the bottom. And once we get the treads on, it'll have a lot more rigidity to it. And now I guess just got to put a few more screws in this stringer to make sure that bow that we corrected stays corrected. And then it's just adding treads and risers, and we're done. Oh, yeah, and cutting out the floor above to get to the top. At this stage of the game, our main concern is that everything is secured to the walls and level. We're just temporarily putting these stairs in. We're going to wait to glue them. We're gluing and screwing them down after they pass inspection, but for right now we want to use these stairs, so we're just putting one screw in them just to keep it from wiggling.
Okay, so there is the new staircase, but we've got an obstruction.
Yep, the floor above needs to come out. Yeah, prior to doing all this, we sistered these joists over here on this side, so that when these go out, the main pressure is resting on this wall. And then actually it was just all jacked up from the previous plumber. So anyway, we're gonna come through here, cut this out, get rid of that wall up there, expand that little closet a little bit, and redo some ductwork, and it'll be fun. So
Sounds like a party.
yep. Okay, you can see we finished the staircase, got it all carpeted, it's good to go, rock solid. Or we were warned by some that it's a super difficult task. It's only difficult in getting the precise measurements done. If you take your time getting your rise and your run total length measurements, then when you cut your treads, you'll be good to go. So if you're careful in your measurements, you won't have a problem. It's definitely something that's worth trying to do, because we didn't even price this out, but I'm sure it's not going to be. It wouldn't be cheap to have it hired out. And that's what we're really all about. We're trying to show you that you can do stuff with some basic knowledge and the right tools. You can do it yourself and save a lot of money, and it's really worth the effort. And there's certainly a lot of satisfaction with looking back at your project and going, yeah. Hey, if you like what you saw, just give us a like or a comment. If you got any questions, please let us know. We're always available to answer your questions. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got lots more videos coming. Be sure and hit that bell too, because the bell will notify you whenever we post a new video, and there's more on the way. Thanks for viewing.
Avi, where are you going?
Here.
Well, it seems to be dog approved.
Good job. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Good girl.